This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(6:15). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is a news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The President urges the world to support vaccination drive of less wealthy nations amid Omicron scare. The body of the assassinated Sri Lankan manager will be brought to Sri Lanka tomorrow. Litrogas Lanka has allocated over 10 million rupees to carry out its annual audit. Minister Veerawansa invites local icons to promote local foods. Measures to promote the Ceylon coconut brand worldwide. Sri Lanka under-19 won by 2 wickets with 36 balls remaining. In Watchlight, the school students suffering from influenza or fever are requested to be restricted to their homes. In news overseas, the US and allied countries call on the Taliban to end the targeted killings of former members of the Afghan security forces. And those are the headlines. And now we move on to the stories in detail. Underlining the threat posed by the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa called upon nations that have the to support or willpower to support the vaccination drive of less wealthy countries more effectively. Speaking at the 5th Indian Ocean Conference, the President stated that immense generosity extended by India, China, US and Japan, and all of whom donated vaccines to us, either directly or through COVAX, were much appreciated. The President noted, at the same time, it is a matter of concern that the relatively slow rollout of vaccines in some parts of the world has resulted in the emergence of a potentially devastating new variant of the virus that needs to be carefully monitored. President Rajapaksa warned that if existing vaccines are less effective against this new Omicron variant, the world may soon return to square number one, adding that the border closure and other restrictions, including lockdown, imposed once again, with potentially catastrophic consequences. He stressed that the COVID-19 pandemic will not end until everyone, everywhere, is inoculated against the virus. The post-mortem of Sri Lankan manager who was assassinated in Pakistan's Sialkot has verified internal organs of the victims have seriously been damaged. The body had been burnt severely and was fully damaged, but the police have managed to carry the body to the Sialkot hospital to carry out the post-mortem. The police have already taken over 250 suspects over the issue. Police have also taken measures to prosecute all the employees of the garment factory where Sri Lankan manager was serving. The garment factory is shut down and sealed by the police, and further investigations are carried out. Meanwhile, Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan said he would personally oversee an investigation into the horrific attack, which he also called a day of shame for Pakistan. Mr. Khan has reached out to Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Earlier in the UAE, Pakistan's Prime Minister conveyed his nation's anger and shame over the horrific incident. The Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa also expressed shock at the brutal Sialkot attack of a Sri Lankan national. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus, the best option.
It is reported Litrogas Lanka has deployed private auditing firm to carry out its annual audit, for which the company has allocated over 10 million rupees. Our correspondent said the auditing is generally conducted by the Department of Government Audit. It added, in such occasions, the department also investigates into the matters such as recent issues and malpractices. Therefore, it paves way for the relevant authorities to take immediate measures in such occasions. Meanwhile, the government audit said the Litrogas chairman has had a monthly package of 1.5 million rupees and each director board member has taken over 1 million rupees as the monthly package. It added the government audit is not satisfactory about the consumer services of the company, even though they are enjoying with better remuneration package. However, Litrogas Lanka said that the LPG brought to Sri Lanka meets internationally ratified compositions of the propane and butane. Minister Vimal Veeravansa says that there is an opening for the Sri Lankan with a good reputation and better personal image to serve the country as a brand ambassador to promote local foods. He says it is high time to promote jack as a supplementary and staple food for all Sri Lankan, which is readily available in many parts of the country. Minister added it will also help to control non-communicable ailments spreading swiftly in the island. Measures have been taken to promote the Ceylon coconut brand worldwide. The Ceylon Research Board has made plans to convert coconut into the country's highest export-earning crop by the end of year 2023. The board said it has planned to minimize the 30% of the coconuts wasted during domestic coconut consumption. In addition, efforts are being made to introduce value-added products to the market. Plans are also underway to explore new global markets, to increase the use of machinery and to attract the younger generation by incorporating IT into coconut cultivation. Meanwhile, the Saubhagya Kapruka national program was launched recently at the Lunimilla Coconut Research Institute. And that's local news.
In 200 meters, turn left.
This is not just my daily commute. I drive to power my nation's future. Sri Lanka Insurance Motor Plus introduces specialized motor insurance for you who drive our nation forward. Choose tailor-made insurance solutions. Up to 75,000 rupees claim settlements within 3 working hours. Exclusive discounts through Motor Plus loyalty rewards. Easy and 0% interest payment plans. Only from Sri Lanka Insurance.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Consumer Affairs Authority says that Litro Gas Lanka Limited and Laugh Gas PLC have been allowed to resume distribution based on recommendations put forward by a technical committee. Accordingly, gas companies have been allowed to resume distribution of domestic gas cylinder under strict conditions. The gas companies can resume distribution on the condition that they do not release previously imported LP gas stocks to the market. And that came to you in Top News.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
The school students suffering from influenza or fever are requested to be restricted to their homes. Teachers and the principals complain that the students with fever and influenza are attending schools despite the health warning. It is also reported all the school students are attending schools with utmost joy and enthusiasm after the vacuum period. Health authorities requested parents to be vigilant over the health of their children daily and take immediate measures to keep them home and seek medical advice if they are infected. And that was Watchlight.
Be aware before you follow any vocational course. When you select a training institute, check and verify its registration and course accreditation by Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission (TVEC) without wasting your valuable time and money. Visit and meet skills development officers or career guidance practitioners. Visit www.tvec.gov.lk for more information. Message from Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
Coming up, World News.
World News headlines first. The US and allied countries call on the Taliban to end the targeted killings of former members of the Afghan security forces. The United Nations appealed for additional funding to help avert the impact of the worsening drought in Somalia. At least 13 civilians shot dead by army in India's Nagaland state. And those are the headlines of the World News. The US and a host of allied countries have called on the Taliban to end the targeted killings of former members of the Afghan security forces. In a joint statement, the 22 countries demanded that the Islamist regime respect its pledge not to harm former government or security force personnel. It has also attached a damning report on killings and abductions by the Islamist regime. Released by the Human Rights Watch earlier this week, the report documented more than 100 executions and abductions of former Afghan government officials since the Taliban took control of the country. The United Nations appealed for additional funding to help avert the impact of the worsening drought in Somalia. The UN Central Emergency Response Fund has released $8 million and the Somalia Humanitarian Fund allocated $6 million to respond in the hardest hit districts. The UN said Somalia is experiencing a worsening drought following 3 consecutive failed rainy seasons, and it is at risk of a 4th consecutive underperforming rainy season in 2021. Protesters have burned army vehicles after more than a dozen villages were shot and killed by soldiers who thought the villages were militants in India's Nagaland state. Indian security forces opened fire on civilians late on Saturday in India's remote northeast region. Based on the credible intelligence of a likely movement of insurgents, a specific operation was planned to be conducted, the army said in a statement today. And that's World News.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Environment Minister Mahinda Amaravira says that there is a heavy traffic at densely populated urban areas during the peak hours. Addressing the 14th session of the new National Environment Council, he instructed the Environment Council to submit ideas and proposals to reduce air pollution in densely populated urban areas. The Central Environmental Authority was also instructed to purchase new equipment to measure the carbon content of the atmosphere in those urban areas as well as the noise pollution generated from the horns of vehicles. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
Third youth ODI match between Sri Lanka and England was played at SSC today. England under-19 and Sri Lanka under-19 were going neck-to-neck in the 50-over format. The two teams were giving a tough competition to each other at the Sinhalese Sports Club ground. The first ODI match between the two sides saw England winning by 25 runs. The visiting nation easily defended 242 runs. The bowlers put up combined efforts with Joshua Boyden finishing as the highest wicket taker with 3 wickets. Meanwhile, playing the second 50-over game, it was the Sri Lankan team who came on top. The hosts secured a massive victory by a margin of 148 runs to level the series 1-1. Sri Lanka coming up on top again. Under-19 team were successfully won the match today, and Sri Lanka under-19 won by 2 wickets with 36 balls remaining. The England scored only 114 and Sri Lankan captain Dunith Walalage took 3 for 13. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's third international airline operator, Fly Sri Lankan, will launch operations with flights to the Maldives by the end of December. Fly Lankan CEO Dr. Arosha Fernando said the airline will launch operations with flights to 6 international destinations after the Maldives, including India, Indonesia, Myanmar, Malaysia and UAE. He added, under the first phase, operations are expected to begin in January to the aforementioned 6 destinations. And that was Business News.
Business News, Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
A loan facility worth $500 million will pay for road maintenance and improvements in Sri Lanka. The International Bank for Reconstruction and Development is providing the loan to the government. The fund will be used to help pay for planned inclusive connectivity and development project, ministry sources said. The main objective of the project is to build new roads and improve existing links. In all, work will be carried out to 3,000 kilometers of provincial and rural roads. And that was economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
This is the weather report.
The Met Department forecasts showers or thunder showers to occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamu, central Uva and southern provinces during the evening or night. Fairly heavy rainfall above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamu, central Uva and southern provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the northwestern and north central provinces and in Vavuniya district. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. And that was weather report. And to conclude the news, let's look at the main points once again. The President urges the world to support vaccination drive of less wealthy nations amid Omicron scare. The body of the assassinated Sri Lankan manager will be brought to Sri Lanka tomorrow. Litrogas Lanka has allocated over 10 million rupees to carry out its audit. Minister Veeramansa invites local icons to promote local foods. Measures to promote the Ceylon coconut brand worldwide. Sri Lanka under-19 won by 2 wickets with 36 balls remaining. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.